Hi everyone. Today's class we are going to see about what are the different network devices. So let me write the topic here. So what are the different network devices? Network devices. So what are the different devices? See, first thing we should know about what is hub, HUB hub, and then what is switch, and then what is router, and then what is a repeater, and then what is access point, and then what is firewall. So as a technician, L1 technician, you should know all the differences between these devices. What is the use of hub, when to use hub, what is the meaning of switch, why we should use switch, why we should use router, why we should go for a repeater, what is the use of access point, what is the use of firewall. All these things as an help desk or L1 technician you should know. I'm not saying you to learn the configuration, but when you go for an interview he may ask you, if I have some 10 computers, which device I should use, either I should go with a switch or either I should go with a router. So you should be able to explain them clearly what makes the difference between a router, between a switch, when to use a switch, when to use a router, when to use a firewall. All these things you should be clear to explain these things. Let me start giving the explanation. See, for example, before going to explain these things, you should already know what is the meaning of a network. See, network means what? A group of computers joined together which shares the same network ID. For example, Australia network. For Australia network, what is the network ID? +61 or +62 is the network ID for Australia. And this network ID will be the same for all the computers or all the telephone numbers inside Australia. That becomes one network. India, which have +91, that is one network. UAE, that is a different network. So basically network means what? Join the computers together by sharing the same network ID. Okay. Now let me give an example for you. For example, this is an Australia network. Okay. So Australia I represent as +61. Okay. As an Australia network, AUS. So inside this Australia, imagine we have many telephones or many people that are sitting inside Australia only, which shares the same code called Australia. Now I need to place a network device to make the communication between these computers. So what is the name of this device? We name it as a switch. So in short, so if we need a communication between the network, within the network, we are going to connect a device called a switch. See, maybe it's 2 computers, 200 computers, 2 million computers, 200 million computers. Concept remains the same. When you are having the same network, you're going to use switch. You are not going to use a router. Okay. So number one. And number two, for example, I have another router, another network called UAE. UAE +971. Okay, it's a different network. So inside this UAE also, if you have many computers, if I need to connect all these computers together, again I need a network device called a switch. Okay. So now within the network, if you need a communication, fine, it is by using switch you can able to communicate. Within this network also UAE, fine, no problem. Now imagine I have one more network called India, and the code is +971. So within this India also, if you need a communication, so why I'm segregating 3 different networks? Because they use 3 different network IDs, and every ID is the same for all the, for example, 200 million people are there. For all the people, we have only one area code. In the same way, if the machines belongs to the same network, maybe 2 machines, 200 machines, 2 million machines, you have to connect through a switch only. Okay. So now I'm using again a device called a switch. So now in short, switches or LAN devices. Switches are devices which are used to connect within the network. Now take for example, we have a local postman. Again I'm repeating, we have a local postman. Now for example, within the Australia, if you want to write the letter, what the postman will do, he will not see that you belong to Australia or what. he see your door number. Okay, he see your door number. Now in a system, what is a door number? MAC address. So switches deals with what? MAC address. Switches maintain table called MAC table. Okay, so now for example, if I need a communication from Australia to India or Australia to UAE, can I able to connect one switch and can I connect? No, you cannot, because if you need to communicate between 2 or 3 different networks, more than one network, you need to connect a router. Okay, so obviously this will be the gateway. This will be the gateway for these 3 networks. And what is this device called? A router. So routers or network devices used to make communication between 2 different networks. For example, from a UAE, if I need a communication to India, yes, it is possible. From Australia, but again, within the UAE or within the Australia or within the India, we cannot use router. So basically, routers or network devices used to make communication between 2 different networks. Now, whether a guy is writing a letter from Australia, I know that he belongs to Australia, and he also belongs to Australia. At that time, they don't bother about whether you belong to Australia or India. They bother about what is your door number, because switches deals with only MAC address. Now, I know the door number and I know this door number. Now, I am going to tell the router, hey, for example, a user called Raj is in Australia, a user called Zahir in UAE. Now, if you want, if a user called Raj, if you want to write a letter from Australia to UAE, he is just writing my door number and he is going to post the letter. What the postman will do? He will tear the letter and he will throw, because he don't find the door number with the same number. First thing he should tell, you belong to which network? You belong to you belong to UAE network. So write the name called UAE. So what routers will do? Router checks you belong to which network. They don't bother about your door number. So routers check IP address. By using the IP address, they will come to know that you belong to which network. You belong to Australia network or you belong to India network. So basically, routers or network devices used to make communication between 2 different networks, and they are going to communicate by using IP address. So switches or network devices used to make communication within the network, and how they are going to communicate? By using the MAC address. I hope it is clear for you what is the difference between switch and a router. Again, let me repeat. Switch is, for example, if I have group of 10 computers, what I should do? Someone asks you, if I have 10 computers, whether I should go for a router or I should go for a. Many people think that if I need an internet, I need a router. See, obviously yes, because internet means what? Connection of networks, millions of networks you want to connect. So obviously you're going to place a router. For example, if I have 10 computers, if I need to connect these 10 computers together, what I need? I need a switch to connect these computers so that I can able to connect with each other between these computers. So in a simple terms, within the LAN or within the network, if I need to connect, we are going to connect through a switch. And if we need a communication between 2 different networks, we are going to use a router. So this is the difference between a router and a switch. In terms of definition, switch is a network device used to connect within the network, and it is going to communicate by using MAC address. And routers or network devices used to connect between 2 different networks, and they are going to communicate by using IP address. Okay, and then what is hub? See, hub is also similar to your switch. Both works within the network. Both are used to connect within the network, but the difference is hub is just a pass-through device. It is just a physical device. It is not an intelligent device. It don't remember anything. Whatever I am getting, I am going to forward to everyone. Whatever I am getting, I am going to forward to everyone. So disadvantage, when the traffic is very high, obviously what happened, the performance will be slow, because it is going to utilize my entire bandwidth. Unnecessary wastage traffic it is going to send, because if I am going to get the information with someone, I am going to send to everyone. Taking the information, sending to everyone. Only who can open the MAC address matches, only he can open. All others, they will drop the packet, because I don't know exactly where this guy is sitting. So I'm going to send to everyone. So that is called switch. In simple terms, switch and hub will do the same functionality. Switch is very fast because switch maintains a dedicated table called a MAC table, but hub, it is just a pass-through device or a physical device. Clear? And then what is repeater? See, for example, for every cable there is some, the distance traveling capability. If it decreases, what happened? We have to place a dedicated device called a repeater to boost up the signal. It will again bring back the original strength. So that is the use of a repeater. Then we have something called firewall. Firewall acts like a security guard to protect your network. For example, to who should come inside, who should go outside. As a boss, I give one paper to my security guard. Security guard checks the paper and he will allow only the people what I informed him. Other people he will block like a security guard. That is called your firewall. And we have something called access point. Access point is something called when we have configured wireless LAN, wireless network devices. At that time, what you're going to place these wireless access points to connect your wireless network. Okay. I hope it's clear for you what is a router, what is a switch, what is a hub, what is a repeater, and what is a firewall. I hope you enjoyed the class, and thank you for joining TechScales.